Make we talk, my people, make we talk. When this town becomes an ugly place, don't let it erase the smile from your face. Make we talk, people, make we talk. Conversation is the key, a guiding light for you and me. Spark a talk and you will see. Conflict solver A to Z. World leaders master the art of self-defense just by talk. So people, make we talk. Hey, we're living in a world that on ourselves we must depend. Make we talk, people.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to an edition of the Make We Talk program. This evening we have with us the firebrand, as she's dubbed, the passionate senator from St. James, Senator Gabriela Morris. Good afternoon to you, ma'am. And good night to you.
Well, good evening, good evening, Jeffrey, and to your viewers. I also say good evening. Thank you for having me yet again to share in your program. I was just listening to the theme song and I like it very much.
Thank you.
Who is the singer?
It's Ed Robinson, you know.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, I called him and I said to him I need a theme song for my program. And I started to try and sing something. He was like, no, don't bother with that. So he decided to write something for me and end up singing it. And I'm so happy he did, because the part where he said that world leaders are master the art of make we talk. You know?
It's a powerful one, man. Powerful one.
It is. Yes. So let us begin this program this afternoon here. Senator, what is going on in our country? Our young people have reached a point where I think they have had enough. Your views on what is going on?
Well, on Friday, I had the opportunity to rise in the Senate to give the opening speech for the State of the Nation for the opposition side. And one of the...
Sorry to cut you. As a matter of fact, I bring that live on my program here.
Okay.
So, yes, I did.
Yes. Thank you. Well, some viewers might have seen that I focused on speaking about the real state of the nation. Because as I understand it, when I came into the Senate, that the state of the nation is an opportunity for us to really take stock of what is happening in the country. It's not an opportunity for us to just grandstand and speak from a glorified soapbox, but it's an opportunity for us to really look at the real issues that are plaguing our country and try to put forward solutions. So that's one of the things that I try to do. And in speaking about the real state of the nation, one of the things that I focused on was the crime and the depravity that we see coming to the center at this point. And we were speaking off air just a while ago about, the crime situation.
Yes.
And I believe that right now Jamaicans are overwhelmed. Yesterday, I saw a post on Twitter from a young person, and they were saying that there's just too much happening. There's just too much negative that is happening. And I think we're at a point in our collective history as Jamaicans where we have seen the moral decline. We have seen a decline in leadership, and it's really impacting the psyche and the consciousness of our people. So right now, I get the sentiment from a lot of young people that they are frustrated, they're tired, they want to see a change, they're crying out for that change. You understand? And a lot of that uncomfortable feeling among the population, it's coming from the crime. It's coming from the crime, it's coming from the corruption that they see in every day. And a lot of people just are feeling like they don't have a part to play in it. They don't have a way out. And so I feel that we have to get to a point now where we see the issues, we come front facing with the issues and recognize where we are. We don't have time to be playing around and to be throwing shots and to be throwing political hits, but it's really a time when we have to take hold of the future of the country. And I think that's what a lot of Jamaicans, especially young people, are crying out for us to have a radical kind of change at this point.
Hello? Mr. Cook?
Yeah, Jeffrey.
Yes, based on what Senator, what I just asked Senator a while ago, where do you see the young people going in our country when it comes on to the whole crime and violence that we're facing in Jamaica?
Well, Jeffrey, look, we have been fed a healthy diet of just traumatic incident over the last 2 weeks. A student beat another student almost lifeless over stepping on his clocks. And what I can't get out of my mind is 4 little youths dragging him through the streets of the parish to try to get him help, while the securities were said to be on duty and did not intervene. Subsequently, a video circulated yesterday of a woman who went to the school to basically have an altercation with a student who it is alleged, because I'm hearing this now, that the student and her partner is having an affair. And you see the students beating her almost lifeless. Yesterday. And then just as I was coming home earlier, somebody said, "Did you hear the story of the female student who beat the other student because she also stepped on her shoes?" And as Senator said, while we were sitting there in the back room, I was talking to her about a colleague of hers and a good friend of mine for many years who lost her daughter Saturday going into Sunday morning, 14 shots or so I hear. So it tells me the young people in our country are angry, and they're angry for various reasons. There's a lot of unmet needs. There is a lot of domestic violence taking place around them. But there is a high level of apathy. And we need to not talk, but we need to be able to do. We need to hold some corner talk with some man again and try to find out what it is that they are going through, and try to find creative ways of rechanneling their energy into a more positive and productive way, so that, this anger, this rush to violence, and just how much we love it, that once upon a time when you see an altercation is about to you step in, but now everybody's phone is up and out and you're getting it live as it happens. So there is a growing level of just anger. It's almost like a ticking time bomb, Jeffrey. And I hear the social scientists have always talk about, boy, it's unmet need, it's the double standard that the society have set for these young people, and they're acting out their frustration. But can you imagine if this explode, if you could literally just step in the head of a young man for stepping on your shoes? My God, I was very happy when I heard that the young man's mother was communicating that he said that he forgave the perpetrator who acted out violently against him. I thought that was commendable, and the country needs to hear more story of that courageous young man who, despite he was laying in the hospital and don't know if he was going to make it, don't know if he suffered any long-term brain injury, he had the courage to say, "I forgive you." And that's powerful compared to how everybody is just rushing to that level of anger that says that I have to get back at you for what you did me. The country needs a softer touch. It needs to be, we need to be more tolerant of each other. And I think it's just a tremendous amount of work that needs to happen. One of the things that I must ask you, though, Jeffrey,
Yeah.
not that I want to hog the show, is that the United States government gave the administration of the Andrew Holness-led government, I think it was in the sum of $10 million for programs for unattached youth. And I'm not sure what that 10 million was used on. Maybe Senator Morris, being that she's closer to the seat of power, and we, the people, oftentimes don't know, could say, when he made that visit to the White House and Camilla gave him that money, Senator.
Have there been any question asked about it, Senator Morris?
Well, I haven't heard any questions posed. The last time it was spoken of, I remember that they had just outlined generally that it would be used for programs at risk. But that's one of the challenges that I see, in government when we're putting these programs in place. It's often very general. We don't see a plan of action. We don't get reports. And that's one of the consistent challenges that I see with especially youth programs. They're not well supported, not well resourced. And oftentimes we just see them for a couple of years and then they phase out. And then we see a new program that's similar, just like the LIFT program, come in and, it's given a lot of fanfare, but it's really just the same program. So that's one of the challenges that we're seeing. One of the things that I wanted to mention earlier too, just before Luke spoke, was the fact that we're seeing a lot of murders of women and children. And that, I think, shake up a lot of people.
Yes.
We live in a culture where at one point, women and children were off guard. And I think we've been seeing a trend upwards in the number of children and women, pregnant women, that's just ridiculous, that are being harmed. And for me, that just shows how far we've fallen as a society. Luke mentioned that it's going to take a lot of work, and I do agree, but it's not just going to take a lot of work, but it's going to take a lot of strategic work, looking at the real causes. Because remember, we are people who have generations of trauma. We're coming from a colonial past where our forefathers, they came face to face with violence, with trauma, and that has passed down through generations, not because we never went through that same experience, but we have inherited that kind of trauma. And so I feel like our society at this point, if we are going to really turn it around, if we're going to change some of the attitudes, if we're going to remove some of the anger that exists, we have to get to the real root of the problems. That resides in the home, that resides in our education system, that resides with how we deal with crime, that resides in the opportunities that are available, especially for young people, because we know that young people are the perpetrators and the victims of crime. If they don't have opportunities, if they don't have jobs, if they not live nowhere, if they can't see a way to make ends meet, then they will be more attracted to a life of crime. So we have to look at this thing all around and really devise some solutions that will really get to the meat of the matter.
Senator, when I listen to the various speeches within Garden House, I keep on saying to myself, I've heard these speeches time and time and time again. And when a young senator come up and start speaking, it is as if the older set of people are saying, why she's talking that way, or why is he talking that way? A Damian Crawford, a Gabriela Morris, or somebody else. Why are they talking that way? Tell me something. As a Jamaican citizen, and as the youngest person in the Senate, do you feel sometimes you're going to the Senate and you just feel frustrated as if nothing is being done?
I do. It's one of the things that has really troubled me since going into the Senate. It's a shame. I feel it's a real shame that in 2023, I still have to be going into the parliament and saying some of these things. I've been watching these leaders for years, and we still have to be saying them in 2023. And that to me signals that there is sometimes a reluctance or there's not enough fire to make the change that we need. One of the greatest failings of my life would be to be a part of a government that I can't see changes in the future. Look back at where we are now and see changes in the future. I would not want to be a part of that. And that's why sometimes when I speak, I get so passionate about it, because I realize the urgency of now. I realize that young people have been sitting and hearing these things all this time, and there's little change. There is little change. And I feel like now, as we are on the cusp of Vision 2030 that everybody likes to talk about, as we are on the cusp of seeing a generation that is uncertain about their future, I feel like that should be a motivator for us all to get up, and to have that collective fire to move forward. You understand? It's crazy that we still have to be talking about the root causes of crime, tackling the root causes of crime. And yes, I know some people will say, oh, resources and this and that. But the truth is, we find resources to do what we want to do. Our priorities at this time have to be very clear: education, crime, opportunities. We have to be clear about that. The leader of the opposition, I love his focus, singular focus on education, because I share that sentiment that through evolving our education system, we can see changes with crime.
Yes.
So we have to realize that this has gone on for far too long. We're a young nation, yes, but I believe that there's so much progress that we could make if we had that focus, if we had that urgency, if we had those priorities in the right places, and if somehow we never saw teeth, because that is the reality. That is the reality. A lot of change that could be made is sidetracked because of corruption. And when we talk about this, people will like to say, oh, but this party do this and this party do that. The point is, we are on a path to development. Are we going to allow ourselves to be set back because we cannot put politicking aside? For me, and the leaders said it also, that anybody who is corrupt, they must go on. They must go, because they're impeding the development of this country. And I believe that more Jamaicans have to get serious about this matter of corruption. Too many of us treat it as a trivial matter, and it's really not, because when you have corruption, it takes away from the school system. It takes away from the resources that we could use to fight crime. So we have to get tough on it, and we have to get serious. A collective seriousness is what we need.
As you talk about that, Senator, do you know the plans that your party has? I had opposition leader on my program on Monday, and I'm pretty much sure you're aware of that.
Yes.
It was on my program on Monday, yes.
I was watching.
Pardon?
I was watching.
Oh, thank you. And before I go any further, I must say good evening to former Jamaican ambassador to the United Kingdom, Ambassador Aluma Samba. I know she's watching. Good evening to you, ma'am.
I come with a Samba.
Yes. Before we go any further, as a young Jamaican, and you see all of this going on, you see our young people being, involved in crime and everything. Have you sit down with Senator Senator Donald Scott Mutley rather, and other senators, and opposition Senator Peter Bunting and others, and say, listen, we need to do something. We need to go to Parliament with something and say to them, listen, what you guys are using is not making any sense. The time has come for you all to call a spade and do something about it. There's absolutely no way in 2023, we're 61 years old, Senator. And what have they done to secure the people of this country? I keep on saying to them, and I say it today on my program, Jamaica is knocking behind Haiti's back door. Whether we want to believe it, yes or no, we are. As a young Jamaican and a young senator, have you ever thought about taking some legislation to Parliament and say, listen, we need to call some international help. If we can't do it on our own, what can we do?
Well, so let's start here. It is the priority of the government to lead. First things first, right? Where we are is that I think the opposition has realized that the government has been dropping the ball on a lot of matters. And I believe that we have been proactive in trying to bring solutions to the table.
Yes.
I remember when the discourse on the state of the nation, on the SOEs came up. And what the leader of opposition did was to actually craft legislation, and he presented it to the government. And that legislation would have been a workaround to the challenges that we see with the states of emergency and how unfit they are to be used as routine measures. Now, we brought that, and the government didn't pay it any mind, which is a common thing that we see in the parliament, even in debates where the opposition will present amendments or will present alternative solutions. They're often not accepted. And yes, the government is there to lead. But we realize on our side that it's going to take a concerted effort if we want to make any real dent in the challenges that we face. So we have been doing that. We have been saying these things over and over, but there's this unwillingness or pushback from the government against the opposition. And I think that has to stop. That has to stop. There's this reluctance to take even the smallest amount of insight. And I think that's not the way that we want to go if we want to create this new direction for the country, right? You mentioned external influences. And I think that the government has been in much dialogue with the US. And while I believe that, yes, we can accept external help, I believe that much of the implementation has to be suited to our context. And that's one of the other challenges. Yes, we can get monetary support, but we have to be critical and strategic again about how we use those resources in our context. We can't just say, oh, we think that we need this when it won't fit in or it won't really help the solutions. So I think that we have to be very measured in how we approach that sort of strategy. And we have to really look at our sore points and seek to direct the resources to those challenges, because that's how we're actually going to see any real change. You're on mute.
Sorry. Mr. Cook, do you have... Oh, Lord, he's gone again. Senator, when you look on education in Jamaica, we're jumping all over the place, but anyway, when you look at education in Jamaica, why is it that they don't put back civics into school? I remember growing up in Jamaica, going to school in Jamaica and everything like that. I remember we have civics in school. What is going on? As a young lady, a young woman, do you believe that they should put back civics into school?
Well, the Minister of Education, she announced recently that civics is now implemented in, I think, 592 schools. Don't quote me on that number, but it's over 500. And I think that, well, I'm happy, first of all, that they have hearkened to the calls from the opposition, the calls from wider society to re-implement civics in schools. Now, I think that we have to take it just a step further, because one of the reasons there was this call for civics in schools is that it's essential, one, to reshape the consciousness of our young people, right? I said on Friday that Marcus Garvey's quote, it rings in my head all the time. A people without their knowledge of their past is like a tree without roots. The kind of education that we give to our young people will determine where they go in the future. And I think in imparting that knowledge, young people have to understand where they come from. They have to understand what we've been through to appreciate where we are and where we're going. So that's one aspect of the civics. Another aspect is teaching them citizenship. We find that a lot of the challenges that we spoke about earlier with our young people, the violence in schools, the disruption, the disregard for authority, the lack of respect,
Yes.
it comes from not having those values shared. We are a people who we're used to oral tradition. So your grandmother tell you something, you tell your grandchildren, and it goes on like that. But what we've seen in our culture is a breakdown of that. We don't have parents talking to children anymore. We don't have grandchildren and grandparents having that dialogue and sharing of values. So that's an issue. So for me, civics creates a space for us to have those conversations. But I believe that we have to go a little bit further. We have to ensure that it's in all schools, it's a part of the curriculum, and then we have to have the discussions about what we are possibly removing to allow for civics, because that's another point that even teachers are talking about. The time that you have available in a school day, children are already doing about 16 subjects. So what do you remove, or what do you put as a secondary subject to allow for that? But we have to have those conversations about how it fits into the very real curriculum and how it's actually being implemented and imparted to the young people. I feel that a one-off announcement about civics in school is not enough. We have to get a little bit granular and ensure that the implementation of civics is actually achieving the goal that we want to achieve with implementing civics.
Yeah. Luke, do you have a question for Senator?
I never realized I was a co-host, but no, Gabriela, I'm happy that you have made those suggestions, and I'm happy that you. Oh, by the way, I just called you by your first name, Senator Morris.
That's right.
No, but look here, it goes a little. I'm agreeing with you. It has to go a little bit more than that, because if we're going to introduce civics, then we also need to see the behavior that goes along with it from those who are supposed to be modeling it for those who are coming up behind them. And when you look at the national parliament and even in the Senate, when you look at how people behave, it's almost like these things that we talk about, we only talk about them for those set of people, but we're not seeing the modeling of it. And to me, it has to go back to Senator Morris, that we have to go back to the drawing board and have what is called the National Youth Program. That even with civics and you in school, that we can be teaching young people how to become good, productive citizens and caring for their neighbor. And we're going to use the service clubs that are already in schools. We're going to come up with a national plan for youth development, and that engagement is something that I think that you and other young people in both political party and other young people in civil society need to go around the length and breadth of this country, and to have an engagement with young people where we speak to them about those real issues that are affecting them. We come back with understanding that they can say what are the root cause, what are possible some of the offspring of those root problem, and what they possibly see as the solution, while we're saying to them, we want you to be good ambassadors for this country. So it's almost like we're branding the youth service, and out of it we have the ambassadors for the 14 parishes. We have them we can highlight a youngster that is doing something that is making a difference. Which, when we hear Jeffrey say, boy, Senator, we literally tearing down the fence to become the next Haiti. I don't know why he thinks we're tearing down the fence. I think Jamaica has a unique set of problem, and that is because young people have lost trust in the leadership core right across the length and breadth of Jamaica. In our own household, we are not modeling some of the behaviors that are going to inspire our young people. So you see, sometimes when people see me and them say, why you like helping people? I can basically go back and say that was what I was taught. It was part of the generation who brought me up. The grandparents, the granduncle, the grandparents, the parents. That was how I was taught. So it's good that we can teach a subject in school, but we need the national youth program, and we need to complement that the national mentorship program, where persons like Senator Morris, who is not an old career politician who don't respect this country anymore, who is really putting all of the profits into your pocket, or the private sector. I mean, young people worried now, Jeffrey, about bank when you look at what is happening at NCB, or when you talk to young people around the country and you say to them, look what is happening at SSL. People are saying, me not take my money going at them, because you see it, big man thief. And you say, oh, them are cover up for them people there if it was a small man. It's just those double standards, Senator, that we need to start to say to young people, say, nobody is above the law, whether you come from Crossroad or you come from Arms House. The law is there to make sure that everybody who breaks it is punished. But we must give back the Jamaican people a sense of pride. And the young people, we must make sure that they know that we are investing in them, because if Jamaica go down, it's because our generation have failed. And I'm glad that young people like yourself, Senator, have answered the call. I really hope you don't get as corrupt when you get that absolute power. Maybe, I don't know, Jeffrey, when the PNP come to power, we'll see if we can still call Senator Morris and get her to talk to us, who will fall now in the place.
Well, Luke, I can say this, Luke, without him saying anything. I am pretty much sure I can call her anytime and she'll come on the program.
Well, good luck for you. I will hold on to the hem of your garment with the hope that you can put in a good word for me. but you understand, too much double standard, Senator Morris, too much lies, too much dishonesty. People see young politicians like you and them must say, no, sound good enough, but she just a wait for go make her kill. And we need to debunk that. We need to debunk that, because I want to believe that good men and women still exist in the moral fabric of the Jamaican society, who understand that they have to put country above self-gain, and that if the country benefits from that servant leadership, we are not going to be rich, but at least we can live far more comfortable. Yes. And it saddens my heart. It saddens my heart to see that our young people have such a high level of cynicism and apathy towards leadership.
Yes. Senator, you want to comment on what Mr. Cook just said?
Yeah.
He said a mouthful.
No, but I've been following.
1 second, Senator, you see it? No, Jeffrey, you try to show me, say, you have the senator for come on the program. You try to get me. All right, Jeffrey, I'm going to say nothing more. But
come on, no, look, don't do that.
Oh my. No, but I totally agree with you that there is this lack of trust that is especially evident among young people. And one of the things that I think we have to begin to change is to see youth development as a central part of our overall development plan. It's not just talking and saying, oh, we'll do something for the young people, them, and that's that. Because I believe that approach, it rewards a few and it leaves out so many young people. One of the things that you mentioned about service clubs and the National Youth Service, it's so important, because I feel that we have to get to a point where we see that the engagement of our young people is so important that we give them the resources. We give them the resources to have their community clubs, or put more resources into that, because that's where a lot of the young people spend majority of their time, in their communities, on the corner with their friends. So if they had a space to engage, if they had programs that are properly resourced, then that, I think that could change a whole lot. One of the things that And yes, this is a criticism. I think Luke mentioned it, that people feel a particular way about politicians. And it was so funny, I said it in the Senate on Friday,
Yes, you
that
did.
that's a big criticism of us. When we can be labeled or put at the top of the list of most corrupt, it shows how the society views us. And with a shame, coming into politics, one of the things that people said, automatically you're corrupt because you're gone into politics. And I resist that notion, because I know my heart for this country. I know how I feel about this country. I know that I want to do my little part, because I can't change everything, but to do my little part, at least to create a future that we can be proud of. So I resist that, because I feel that, as you said, there are good men and women in the service, in national development, in politics, that believe that we can create a better Jamaica and are committed to that. One of the things that we have to do, though, is hold our peers accountable. It cannot be that there are 6 parliamentarians who are under investigation and we're afraid to talk about it. The Prime Minister has that burden to hold those people accountable. Because if we don't, it taints the whole parliament. I see people saying, oh, cover up a one, who are cover up for who. I don't want to be a part of that. I don't want to be labeled in that way. And so I feel that as leaders of the country, we have to take responsibility for how the people see us. If we are not able, as I said earlier, to call out corruption and to stand up against it and to be courageous, that's one of the words that has been on my heart for all year. The chairman of the party, she urges us all the time to be courageous, because we are fighting for the soul of our country. We can't be complacent and sit with it and be comfortable with the direction that we're going in. So we as leaders have to take some stock and take hold of that perception and try to, through our actions and through our peers' actions, change the way that we're seen by the country. We have to walk the walk and not just talk the talk. It's important at this time, if we want to see more young people, not just, getting involved with politics by voting, but just being generally interested in the state of affairs in our country, then we have to change how they see the leadership of that country. One of the deficits, and I want to point this out, it came to me on Friday and it slipped me, is that we have a national youth parliament. And I have been to the last 3 sittings since I've come in as a senator. I've joined them for the sittings. And one of the things that I must give these young people credit for is that they have so much vision. I felt so good sitting with them and listening to them. There's so much vision coming from our young people. But if we just take that and listen to it and clap feet and not bench, then that is not enough. There were some solutions that were placed on record at the last youth parliament sitting about housing. And it was so uncanny to me that just a few weeks later, we saw the Prime Minister touting the idea of container homes. Now, what I would have loved to see is some more of those solutions that are coming from the young people. They're coming straight from their mouths. They're coming from their brains. I would love to see some of those solutions being really taken and implemented, or at least considered as policy positions. Because that's how we also give young people a voice. That's how we get them to see that, yes, they can contribute in this way. And it's not just one of you can make change, but all of us as a collective. Our ideas too are important and valid. So I would love to see that happening. And that's one of the things when we come to government that I would want to make sure happens, that the ideas that are actually coming from these youth groups, from the National Youth Advisory Council, that they actually become real solutions, real programs, and real policies. We have to get more young people involved.
Senator.
Well, I'm glad you said that, Senator, because one of the things that I just spoke to Jeffrey is just the sheer dishonesty that Senator could have linked that these were ideas coming from our young people, which means that our young people, once given the space, they really think about things, and and Jeffrey, I would like to move that now that Senator has said that, because here it is that it might be announced, but nobody will give credit to who are the creators or the thinkers
Yeah.
or have given birth to this. And here is what young people are going to feel. We do the work and we get slighted. The man at the top takes the praise. But could we, Senator, just for a moment, imagine giving them the space and taking just one idea from that group of young people and implementing it somewhere that it is needed, and then crediting them for that intervention, then propelling them now to go further to come up with far more creative solution. Because in the last few months, I've read Jamaican young people in the United States have contributed positive to the area of science, have contributed positive to the area of even climate change. We might not be benefiting from those young people, but just imagine that there's somebody sitting in that parliament who have thought of an idea but said, sure, nobody now gonna take me serious. And if them do, if me even share my idea, them are gonna take it, and there is no accreditation for us who have, sat down and thought about it. But again, Jeffrey, this is part of the dishonesty, because you see the junior parliament that Senator Morris, it's not something that we highlight or given airtime, similar to that of the national parliament, to show young people, not in a negative sense, but young Jamaicans who are coming from various walks of life, who are given a role and they are playing out that role. And civics for me is good to be taught. Senator Morris, we need an app, because one of the things that we have to look at the various teaching style. But tell me, Senator Morris, there was 700 or 7,000 young people who did not go back to school from COVID time, who gone out in the street now, gone go turn hustler, because them recognize that no matter what the government said, the teachers are leaving, the government not paying teachers, government not paying firefighters, government not paying police. So they realize that the government will take a 300% increase to themselves, and them I say, look, may have to go make a food here now, because it is unbearable to live in Jamaica and not have a money. And everybody know the common saying, to be poor in Jamaica is a crime. Why was there not a national effort to ensure that we round up those 7,000 young people and say we don't put them back in the normal schooling system? Because some of them did it, and it is frustrating to them, because them can't read from them their basic school and them matriculate to primary and high school. Why we never make an effort and say, all right, let us change the education system? Suppose we can teach you just the basic function of literacy and numeracy, but we can teach you a skill. And then from that, now you're going to go into the national data job bank, where depending on how good you are at your skill, we're going to promote you right through the length and breadth of Jamaica. So somebody is looking for a mason, they go on the national job bank and they look and them say, all right, Jeffrey Tavares, A-class mason, did his training here, credible, and so forth. Why we never make a pull for sure young people say, yeah, we care about them so much that we were not going to allow you not to go to any school, and instead likely to be drawn into a gang? Why was there not a thrust from the government to try find them people that will never go back to school?
Well, I don't particularly know how to answer why. Well, I know how to answer why. Let me answer why. Because I genuinely feel as though we did not fully think about our educational, and let me not say we, the Ministry of Education, I don't believe that there was a fully thought out plan to our educational recovery from COVID. We are still asking these questions. I think Damien asked just on Friday, if I'm not, if yeah, on Friday, about the students that are still out of school, and we haven't gotten much response from the government on that. And it's sad, because a lot of these young people, as you said, them gone out, gone hustle, or they're out there engaging in whatever activities. So it's unfortunate that we still haven't seen that response from the government to say, hey, this is where we were at in COVID. We found this number of students. We still have these number outstanding. This is what we are going to do. I'm not seeing that type of planning. One of the things that was announced by the government is the Pathways program. And the Pathways program was conceptualized, I believe, to address some of what you mentioned about skills training, right? I believe that it has to be a little bit more tailored. And some people might say, oh, we oppose everything, but this is not an opposition. One of the reasons that the opposition is in place is to look at the policies and programs that is being put forward by the government and seek to tailor them and refine them so that we can have better outcomes. I think that with the Pathways program, one of the things that we should be doing is even from grade 9, allowing some of these young people to go and get the training in whatever area that they would like to get trained in. Waiting until they go to sixth form and waiting until even fifth form. I think we can do just a bit better by saying, all right, you come to 9th grade, instead of just giving them the option of choosing, say, science or arts, you have the option to go the route of learning a skill. Because a lot of these young people, and they will tell you to your face. I was at Kingston Technical having a discussion with some young people, and they just couldn't see the importance of going on to the 9 CXC, chemistry, physics. They couldn't see that. One of them said to me, I want to be an electrician. That is what I want to do. And he knew that. So these children, they have a sense. Some of them have a sense of what they want to do. Allow them to go and do it. Allow them to get certified from early. Allow them, as you said, to get enlisted into the labor force. Teach them the skills of business, because a lot of them will never go and work for somebody else. A lot of young people, I'm seeing that trend among them, that they are resisting that. They want to own their own businesses. And I think that's a good sign for us as a country. What we need to do is enable them to do that. Business in this country for a lot of young people is just an arduous task. I said it in the
Senator, I'm listening to you.
Hold on for me, look.
Go ahead, Jeffrey.
Hold on for me, look. I know Senator Shirley can stay until 8 o'clock. And the discussion is getting so robust.
Oh, we're cutting off at 8 o'clock?
That's what she's saying to us. I mean, that's what she said that she only can go at 8 o'clock. Because I think
all right, well, in the final stage, since we have her with us, possibly the next female Prime Minister of Jamaica, and I won't be able to call her after she wins, so I will still hang on to your tail. I'm talking to a young lady who is with me right now, Senator Morris, and it's interesting that here is a mother of 2, and we're having a discussion, and she says to me, she called me by my pet name, Jimmy. What I'm making at work is dirt cheap, so I have to be struggling to make 2 ends meet. And then she says, you know, I want to do a business, but the capital and to go borrow money now with my responsibility. Why is it that we are not empowering young entrepreneur like this young woman who wants financial freedom? Financial freedom, and so she feels that she has to be. Women feel that they have to be eternally yoked. Them have to be eternally yoked to a man, even when they know that sometimes these men will not meet the needs that they have and the dreams and the aspiration. Why are we not serious in this country about encouraging a young, bright woman like this who just wants to live a better quality of life for herself and her children without having to suffer the indignity of having to give it up to a man? And the story that we heard about the married man building you the house, owning you like the slave, going there, somebody lose their life. Why are we not encouraging more young, bright people like this and giving them the support that they need so that they can realize their dreams and aspirations?
All right, so I'm not an economics buff, but one of the things that I've realized with the government's approach to economic development is this their philosophy, it speaks to this notion of trickle-down economics. And in that, the people at the top are enriched, but the people at other strata of society, they don't receive the support that they need. And it comes back to what you're mentioning. The needs of a young mother, the needs of a young single person just coming out of university, they're very unique. And any government who really cares about the advancement of all people will ensure that policy and programs cater to these different people in society. So I was getting to that. The economic empowerment of young people, of women, is especially important. We see that in our society, our women are industrious. And the story that you just told or made mention of, it's not unique. There's so many mothers, so many young women who want those opportunities. And I'm not going to say that there aren't programs or there aren't grant support available, but it's not widespread enough. And there's still people who are not aware or don't have the requirements to, or don't meet the requirements for these kind of support. So we have to really look at how we can put programs and policies in place to address these issues. With entrepreneurship, you mentioned it, it's tough to get a bank loan. It's tough when you're going into tax office. The amount of things we have to give them. I know because I tried.
And not only that, Senator, sorry to be cutting you in this. I remember when I was starting up my water company, I went to the Bureau of Standards, then I went to the company office in Jamaica, and you have to get all sorts of shebang around just to start the business.
Yeah, it's difficult. It's difficult, and it sends a signal sometimes to young people that, business is being monopolized.
Yeah.
And in many respects, it seems that way. But what we need to do if we want to have a more productive society, what we need to do if we want to see greater economic empowerment of our people, is to give them space to own something of their own. We have to get to that point, because that will mean that we're transitioning out of the plantation society that we were built on and into a new model of economic independence. So we have to allow our people to have something for themselves. We have done it. I've seen successive governments make effort, but we have to get to a place where our governmental agencies, even, it is much easier for young people to navigate. We cannot put up roadblocks to their development. And that's one of the things that I see very prevalent in how our society operates. There's so many roadblocks. They wanted to provide this, that, and the old lady. And I get regulations, but at every point, it cannot be so difficult. So I think that we have to really look at the systems that exist and see how we can make them more conducive to young people operating in the system. We have to see how we can get more women to own their own businesses, because when you link it back to the issue of violence, Luke George mentioned it, there are many women who still feel as if they have to rely on a man, to be their source of economic independence. And I think that once we're able to give more women the opportunity to have something for themselves, then they and their families will also be more independent. Because, some mothers, they impact the children, they impact other persons in their families. So it's creating this whole snowball effect of development for the country. So we have to focus a little bit more on that.
Senator, I have to ask you this. I know you're not the chairman of the People's National Party, but I have to ask this question of you because it came up when the lead already came on my program. And I will always say this. Westmoreland has always been a PNP, as what I call it, dubbed it the PNP country. Western Westmoreland, Eastern Westmoreland, everywhere else. The question I want to ask you, Senator, why is it not only the PNP, but the JLP does the same thing? Why is it that they always want to put people at a constituency who's not from the constituency? And when people constituency cry out, they don't want that person there. the party still have the person there. I speak of Western Westmoreland, where I'm from, where Wickham McNeil, his father, Kenneth McNeil, was the MP there in Wickham. And they have Mr. Ian Hales there now.
That's Western Westmoreland. Okay.
Yes, of Ian there now. The people personally don't want Mr. Hales there. They went as far as it seems as if the People's National Party will be losing the entire Western Westmoreland when it comes down to local government election, because some of the PNP councils switch over to the Jamaica Labour Party party. The question I want to ask: when are we going to stop putting people in areas that the constituency itself don't want them there? Because if the People's National Party do not go down to Westmoreland and sit down with the people of Westmoreland, I remember back in the days, and let me make something clear here. I'm not a member of a political party. I'm a Jamaican, and Jamaica comes first for me. But I'm just saying something that I observed. I remember when I was a little boy growing up in the grill, Michael Manley came down there, and he and one bodyguard. And Michael Manley walked the 7 mile beach of Negril, and he said to talk to everybody. Why is that leader Golden do not go down to Westmoreland, sit down, and speak to the people of Westmoreland, Eastern Westmoreland, Western Westmoreland, wherever in Westmoreland, whatever. Just sit down and speak to the people and ask them what they want. You cannot continue pushing people on people down there that they don't want. What is your views on that, Senator?
Well, let me start out by saying that.
I know I'm not the chairman. Or anything that I have to ask you the question. Yes.
Let me start out by saying that Westmoreland also has a special place for me. That's where my mother's side of family is from. So I want to see Westmoreland as a parish become more developed.
Yes, we have that in common, and your father come from St. James.
Yes. So
yeah.
I feel because I have a lot of cousins still there. You know, they're young. They should be able to reside in Westmoreland, find opportunities in Westmoreland, and raise families there too, if they so desire. So we need to see that kind of development taking place in Westmoreland, in Hanover, in the West in general, you know. So let me say that first. The second thing is that I think that the party this time around has used a very strategic approach to candidate selection, very methodical, very scientific, and I think that it has worked for the most part. There are challenges, of course, as there are with any system, right? But I think for the most part, it has worked. In the case of Westmoreland, I take this road that the people have spoken. The people have spoken, and while there's a subsection of people who had challenges with the selection, I think that the delegates came out and they showed their support for a particular candidate. And I believe that says a lot. You know, in the party, we revere the delegate system. We know that it has its faults, but we believe that we are the people's national party, and where the people speak, then that is the direction that we should look towards. I think in that selection, the people spoke, and I believe that the leadership, as far as I can see it, they have made every effort to try and deal with the issues that arose throughout that process. I feel as they've made effort to heal wounds and to bridge the gap. Of course, people are people, and people have their emotions and feelings and thoughts about about particular things. And I think that while there might be still room for discussion to take place and engagement to take place to kind of rectify things, I think that those councils have decided to go their own way. And what I'm interested in as a member of the party is that we ensure that the people in those seats, that in those divisions, that they get proper representation. I'm interested in seeing that we have solid candidates in place who are going to ensure that their needs are met. So at this point, I don't feel like we can harp back to what happened. I feel like they made a decision, albeit shocking to many of us, and not so shocking to others. I think they have made that decision. And what the party has to do going forward is just continue to try to place the best candidates in the seats. We have to improve the quality of representation that Jamaica on a whole has. That's how people are going to regain confidence in leadership. When they see that we are putting in place people who have vision, people who have the best interests of the country at heart, people who are willing to do the work, action, people who are willing to actually serve. And so that's what I'm focused on seeing the party really doing, putting in place people who will do the work, who are committed. And when the challenges arise, I think we've taken a very diplomatic approach, and I think we've taken an approach where we try to hear all sides, but of course the result is not always as we want it, and that's a part of politics, that's a part of life, as I've learned.
Yeah.
You know,
Senator, before you go, I know it's a minute after 8 o'clock. Before you go, I suggest to the leader that they need to come to the diaspora. They need to come to the diaspora and have a forum. And to come into South Florida. And I said it live on air on a radio station up here. I said it to Leader Golding that what they need to do is for him to come into South Florida with a young Senator Gabriela Morrison, Peter Bunting and others, Senator Donna Scott Mutley and others, come into South Florida, sit down with the Jamaican diaspora and tell them the plans that they have, just in case that the party should win state power. The people of the diaspora need to know what plans they have, because the diaspora have been sending back home money in the tune of billions of dollars a year. Yet the diaspora don't sit in the parliament. Yet the diaspora don't sit in the Senate. Yet the diaspora don't have a say in the constitutional reform in our country. And I think the time has come for a member of the diaspora to either sit in the Senate, have a say in how the government, in how the country is being run, because whenever the two political parties are going to campaign for election, the two political parties come to the diaspora and get funds.
Yeah, but Jeffrey, I don't think that, all right, look, my views on that. I love when they said this about the diaspora, and maybe I'll never get any support from that group. They are too political and need to depoliticize themselves. Some people in the diaspora are still hard in labor right, and some are hard in PNP. And then the people them in the middle get squashed because everybody suspect that. But here's what I will say in the diaspora defense. If we don't get Senate seat, because I'm not say, oh, we're not going to be senator living in the United States, but at least put you in policy position, in crafting policies and designing intervention, innovative programs, put you on some state boards. Start there, because it's like you're asking for a third party. Start there. But how do you select those people from the diaspora who are not going to become disruptive in the process, knowing that people campaign same way for them political party and Jamaicans don't benefit from them? Come in, know why not collect campaign money for when school can't pay a light bill, why that's why not invest in a light bill. When university students can't pay them school fee. But things are only enough to give one politician one set. But I am lobbying that you be put in policy position and that it is crafted in this constitution reform that anybody outside of Jamaica, just like how you can get national award for services rendered as Jamaicans outside, like Una Clark and yeah,
and some of them don't deserve it.
Most of who get it both locally and internationally don't deserve it. Andrew not gonna give me an award. Mark not gonna give me an award. Me can't talk. Me not gonna make nobody blow no trumpet for me. Me do whole heap. Mark Golden would never even put me on a committee. Andrew Holness don't have nothing to do with me. Because one of the things them are going to send out, if people have this as them, my cross that me a bear now, having passion, why should I be punished for it? So the fact of the matter is that I would say to Gabriela, the diaspora need to hold them money until the government, because me here, I heard the outer Minister of National Security say, the men and women in the brown suit, them have 2 and 3 degree. Look at how the people with degree mash up the country. Go get some people without it now. A foolishness. So we don't need no help from the United States or citizens of Jamaica who are now members are living in the United States, Europe and other places. Just send us the money and we'll solve the problem. I would immediately withdraw support from the Jamaica Labour Party after the minister made that. It's famitable, it's disrespectful, because we know that despite anything you can say about the diaspora, they have been prostituted and they have been committed in some regard. I don't know why some of them don't go back at them yard in them community and go do little something there. So instead of them want to pal around with politicians. And that's the life for me that me can't take. Them tell you in a private conversation that them not trust this here politician, them not trust. But when the person lands on the tarmac and come in a them 3-piece suit, or all of that fear for them fly through the door. So I believe that diaspora members must be put in critical strategic policy position. Me not necessarily need them to be senator, because me don't know how you go hold senate in a foreign country when you're swearing an allegiance, and we don't want to get back into that unless we rectify that in the constitution. But there is nothing that says them can't put in key seats of policy makers and make gonna lead some of it with the knowledge and the expertise that is in the diaspora. And then after them give on that, consider that and give on that, then me that start send back the money. But now well on for my money. Nobody now prostitute me.
Senator, the question I asked you, what do you think about your party, the People's National Party, having forums in the diaspora to speak to the members of the diaspora? What Luke said is absolutely true. What Luke said was absolutely true.
And just me, I just said this to you now, that only senator party, but the JLP, because when them soul start label us as that we are knocking on the step of cliff views. Me not coming as no PNP or Labour, I'm coming as a Jamaican who love this country, I know. And anybody where feel like them can mash it up. So make the Labour right, them go talk them policy position. But what I want the people them to start do is say, you see these 10 things that you say you're going to do, Gabriela Morris. When me start tick off my list, when you come back, me just say liar, 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 now we are to blind for talk.
Well, we need more of that, holding us accountable. That is important. No. But on the issue of the diaspora, right? I was pleased with the last rounds of tours in Florida, the UK. We're yet to visit Canada, and I hope that visit will happen soon. But I think that gearing up to the election, yes, we need to have more engagement with the diaspora about our plans. A lot of people have even been reaching out to me that, hey, they want to come home to vote, they want to do, and that's good. But I think we need more engagement. And I think the diaspora has to be more than just a funding machine. There are unique skills and talents in the diaspora. As Luke said, there are many people in the diaspora who just have Jamaica's interest at heart. And we need to harness that. We need to work with that. We need to value that. So I think that, yes, the suggestion of having members of the diaspora in key positions, I think that's a good one. They possess unique insight that can add to deliberations, and I think that's good. The discussion on constitutional reform, based on the discussions I've been hearing, one of the things that they're looking at is reviewing the ability for members of parliament to hold dual citizenship. So that will also impact perhaps the composition of the houses. So let's see. That's a process that we should continue to watch.
But Senator, it's a shame. Senator, sorry for cutting. It's a shame though that Andrew Holness and Senate Minister Foot or Feet or whatever her name is,
So
did
Marley,
not even did not deem it respectable to name one member of the diaspora on the review of the Constitution, but them don't have no shame to go to those people and use Lady Collins, who is high up in England, to raise money for them. But them never even asked she who know everything about Harry and Meghan business, why she couldn't have an input. But you took a man from Canada because you say he have constitutional understanding, and you take people like Nadine Spence, who me don't know if she have constitution or a conscience, because some days I listen to her, she speaks on two sides of the fence. She don't have she don't have a position when you can follow. And then on a real I go back to the people them go ask them for money. Jamaica Labour Party, no, me can't excuse the PNP because on not lead this charge. But say you gain government and the constitution reform has not concluded. Are you going to continue as a party on the same trend, or can you then do an annex to what has been done? Because again, why is it something as critical as constitution reform being done, Gabriela Morrison, and we have to wait till people don't talk till we know what they must say? We don't have no opportunity like in this chat room now. People can express their opinion and you can say, we never really think about that you know, because I don't think say it should have been those people who select it. I think that should have gone to referendum and we say, all right, we want Gabriela, we want Jeffrey Tavares, we want one of Jeffrey listener who happened to just say in the chat room, senator that he had today and birthday. Today and birthday, and because all on them said today and birthday, and because yeah, come on, you want him name a thing. Him now, but I got party to listen to yourself. I want you to stop and to realize how much power you have already. And you're not yet the president of the People's National Party or the second female prime minister. So big up you and before you respond.
Go ahead, Senator.
I had a little white rum, Jeffrey, so just allow me, my spirit.
Hey, Luke, boy, I enjoy you. But let me pause to say I didn't say that earlier, but happy birthday to that viewer. I hope you have a great evening and you enjoy your birthday. Thank you for being with us. But just to quickly address that issue of constitutional reform, right? I don't want to say whether or not or what we would overhaul with the process if it's not completed and we take government. I don't want to say that just yet. But what I want to talk about is how the process has transpired so far. One of the faults that I find with the process, and I've said this, I've met with the minister, brought together the YO to speak to her as young people about what is happening. And one of the things that we raise consistently is the lack of education. I believe that even before the process started, we should have begun a national program of education on constitutional reform. There are many people who still have no clue what is happening. And I think that if we're going to put something to a referendum, we should at least create an opportunity for people to be properly informed. Now, I see the government trying to do town hall meetings, and it's not even in every parish. To me, that's not enough. It's not enough because there's so many avenues for us to use to get the message out there. Schools, churches, we should be employing every possible avenue because this is such an important change for the country. We can't leave it up to just town hall meetings in a few places. Secondly, I think the process as conceptualized by Minister Ford, the timing of it, the timeline was ill-conceived, right? With so many things to do, and I don't think they even, I don't think that they left enough space for consultations. It happened that there were so many groups who were reaching out to the committee to have a say in what is happening, and I don't think they budgeted for that, which me, it's not okay, because if you're making such a fundamental change to the people of the country, you have to leave space for them to talk about it. You have to leave space for them to give their input. And so the whole process, to me, I have to admit, I'm not even sure where they want to go. Because this is a fundamental issue for me, for the YO, for the party. We have said that if you are removing the king of the head of state, then we cannot stay with the Privy Council. And I say that the committee, yes, they're deliberating and the government has been dragging their feet. But for me, I think we have to stand firm on that. If we are moving away from the monarchy, then we can't stay with the Privy Council. It makes no sense. And so for me, the committee still has a little way to go to make the issues clear, to get more Jamaicans to understand what this process is about, and to actually give some realistic timelines as to what will happen and when it will happen. So I'm a little bit concerned about that at this point.
Are you for a president is elected by the people, for the people, than a ceremonial president?
I am. However, I understand that will be very difficult to achieve in the timeline that the minister actually has set out. But I believe that the people should have that opportunity to elect their president. And I think that majority of Jamaicans feel that way. But that is something that we have to take a little bit more time to figure out. And I think that our representatives on the committee, Senator Scott Motley and Comrade Tony Hilton, they have been making that point, that it's going to take time, it's going to take research, it's going to take conversation for us to get to that point where people are understanding and where all views and voices are given an opportunity to contend. So for me, I'd love to see that, but the timeline very sketchy at this point.
Mm-hmm. You know, I am.
Is it sketchy? Is it sketchy, Senator Morris, or is a lot?
Hold on a minute, look. I am not in agreement. I'm not in agreement with some of the people who are on the Constitution Reform Board. One of them is the ambassador of Plentiful. Because I
you
can't
smart
pronounce
too.
the ambassador of what? Plentiful, whatever.
Yeah. We don't want rocky, we don't want misfoot, and we don't want you small. Tired, redundant, and bankrupt.
Yeah. I think that there was an opportunity for more breadth to be shown in the selection of the committee. As much as we know that every sector, every group can have a representative, but I think that there was an opportunity for it to be a little broader, to allow for more insight and more views. And even if that is the composition of the committee, again, I say that more room should have been made for consultation to take place. And I remember Dr. Spence complaining about, bullying from civil society groups. We have to expect that people are going to want to talk about this. And so I feel like there's...
Yeah, but she's a bully herself, So she is, that's a comfortable area for her.
Listen, I don't want to get into that because my name is easy to call, and I have had
no,
enough.
I know your name, I know you are saying to me. Me not talk to you. Me talk about. She's a bully. She's a bully herself. So she should be comfortable being in that arena.
Look, I tell you that
all right, we move along. I can't talk my truth, because if me forget to talk our truth, street island I go mash up. So here we run the program, because we had the lady on for 8 o'clock. It's now 8:19. But look, dog a sweat, but long year I cover it. A whole heap of skullduggery are going in Jamaica. And some of these name brand Jamaican, we need to ship them out. They are no good. Let's ship them to the Americas, because they have done this country more harm than good. Somebody in your chat there from 1942 government, now pay government, whether PNP or JLP. People are giving their labors to the government of Jamaica for little. And the Senator is young bright people like you inspire me. You give me hope. And I hope you're not just talking the talk, but you will walk the walk. Because let me tell you, man, in the real out there, when you know you hear people cry, I'm tired for everybody. As you said, we must document things. If any politician who go to listen to people and don't have a document to refer to and to show a timeline when they responded to what they were hearing, we can't do everything for every people, but we can make hospitals better. Why is there in 2023 only you have one microcare center when you know that Kingston is overpopulated? Children are waiting on it from Wapia Kilfilo, and the care center is not properly funded because when them are send out a team, them have to send out them clinician, them have to send out them psychology, them have to send out somebody for assess, and then somebody who knows takes it. When you know that education, as you said, is going to be critical if we are going to move the people into become more productive citizens. Why is it that early childhood institutions are so poorly paid, and it only take a laboratory at Heart Trust in learning how to have contact time with the children and not first degree to give them that fundamental that will take them? So me that like to see what got happen when you get minister of either social services, Ministry of Labour, and me want to see if Mr. Golden is going to cringe to the pressure in his party and not send home some old dinosaurs who have held on to the People's Party like them woman, them father will it out to them. Them need to go. They are a malignant cancer on the party. Any PNP who love them party must love it because they believe that they push forward the best idea for this country, not what they can gain from it. And that's all I have to say for the rest of the night. That I will allow you, Senator, to go because I don't want to be said that I'm not a gentleman, and I want to believe I'm a gentleman and not keeping you beyond your 8 o'clock, and now you're 8:21. Is Jeffrey doing
No, but I'm enjoying the conversation, so we can wrap up 8:30 like we originally planned.
Okay.
But yeah, we have an issue of misplaced priorities. Misplaced priorities. You spoke about it. We don't have CT machine in a hospital. We not allocating enough resources to properly compensate our teachers, our nurses. We just haven't managed, or we haven't used the willpower to make the changes where they need to be made. And so for me, I'm young in this political realm, but I think I share a commitment, or I have a commitment to actually doing my best to make change in this country. And that's something that I reflect on and hold on to and try to anchor myself to. So I want to believe that in the next few years, I will be able to see some change and be a part of some change. But that will come with a government who is truly focused on the needs of the people and is truly focused on the systematic changes that are needed both socially and economically to move people forward. That is what we need in this country, hands down. We can no longer pander to the elites. We can no longer pander to external influences, but the government must look out for the interest of the Jamaican people. And that is what I want to see going forward as a young person. I want us to reach 2030 and can say, all right, we might not achieve everything, but we are actually on a path to see these changes in front of our eyes. And so I just want to close out by saying that, there's so much depravity that is happening in our country. There are so many challenges, but I always appeal to Jamaican people to take hold of your destiny. Take hold of your destiny. I see a lot of people losing hope and saying, boy, we're done with this. We're not do this no more. But I want us to just put a little more effort into really holding these people accountable and using our voices, raising our voices. If you're going to do it by protest, if you're going to do it by voting, if you're going to do it by online action, blogging, writing, we have to do something. And the onus is not just on the leaders, but it's on us as Jamaicans taking hold of our future and really saying, listen, time come, we need to do this differently. we need to do this differently. And so for me, it's always been a dream to see more young people. And I'm happy, I have to point this out, that a few weeks ago, there was a news report with 12 new faces of the PNP. And that gave me hope, because I always say, I don't want to be the only young person. I don't feel like I need to be the only young person. There needs to be new voices coming into the space with new ideas, with new vision, with renewed energy to take the country forward. And so I'm happy about that. I'm happy that the PNP has been certain and has been strategic about introducing new leadership into the space. And I look forward to what that will mean for our country, what that will mean for our politics. And I hope to continue to be a part of that change.
And on that note, I want to say to all who are on to like, share, and subscribe to the Make We Talk Jeffrey Tavares YouTube channel. I want to say thanks to Senator Gabriela Morris, who have always graced us with her presence. And, you know, a young lady who is passionate about her country. And someone who I think Mr. Mark Golden, not because she's on this program here, I've been saying it for many times, that he should put her the forefront of the People's National Party going forward. Because
mind Jeffrey has set up Gabriela, you know, because men with big testosterone back the sideline. Gabriela, me say it for my brother Jeffrey. I don't see the victory from afar. I know that you are possibly God-centered, and the righteous wind is blowing to your back. We need young, bright people like you and others, as you said. And I would love for us to do the One Jamaican Youth Forum tour, where we go and we just sit down and we talk to people, and we don't have to do it over curry goat. Yeah, we want to refresh people. We don't want to, but we come out with the voice of the young people from across the 14 parish of this country. And at least out of what they're saying to us, we try to find one common program or project that we can find funding to support them, so that they can, whether it's housing, whether it's farming, whether something that we can support them and inspire them to understand that for anything to happen in Jamaica, they cannot lose courage, because the reason why evil is so pervasive is because good people are losing hope, and we become the pillar that gives them the strength to pivot again and to take their rightful place in advancing the welfare of the whole Jamaican human race and beyond. I would love for you, two shower man, because I don't want nobody with no hidden agenda. Just clean out people, clean out like Jesus police record. Go talk to young people, listen to them, and then we come back with a position and say, this is what we're hearing. We are like John, or who was in the desert making the way of the Lord, giving young people a platform and highlighting what is happening in the junior parliamentarian session. And I wish you all the very best. Keep up your stride. Make Jamaica proud. I wish you could get Mark to give Sister Lisa a standing position and go give her something, because while the constituency might vex with her, you know, people them international just think that she had the next best thing since sliced bread. And she has a lot of what I see in you. Passion. Yeah. Don't let them put that out, Gabriela. Don't let them put out the passion. Me are the biggest idiot on this program, and them can't make me feel bad. Can't make me feel bad.
You know, something, Senator, I must ask you before you go. Your grandmother still alive, huh?
Yes, I just saw the comment from her. Yes, hi grandma. My grandmother, she is from Westmoreland. She's a retired nurse, and she's just one of the people who have instilled in me this sense of service. You know, I used to remember walking with her in Westmoreland, go visit our old people. So, you know, it's good to see her on. I'm very surprised.
Gabriela, when you are a crossbreed between Westmoreland and St. James, them can't do you nothing. We're bad from we're born.
That's right.
We're bad from we're born.
That's right. No, but
Yeah, cause my father is a St. James man and my mother is a Westmoreland woman. Them just like that cross mix. Yeah, them just like that cross mix and produce some rebel picnic.
I want to say thanks to you.
Forward with courage and staying focused, and I'm really excited about what I can be a part of. You mentioned just before we go, you mentioned the program. I'd love to do something like that. Actually, in October we restart our school tour, and for the YO, we really don't go to campaign, but we're more so talking to the young people about citizenship, about opportunities, scholarships, about career development, all of that. So I'm really looking forward to taking that on and to the young people that we will meet and listen to. It was good last year and I want it to be even better this year. So I'm really looking forward to us doing that.
Yeah, man, just link me up on my work on it, man. And we're bringing some young people from the diaspora.
All right.
Thanks for coming on.
Jeffrey, we said young people, we know you want to come, but we...
Look, you Senator need to go. You and I going to talk when the Senator go. Senator Morris, Senator Gabriela Morris, I want to tell you thanks for coming on and, you know, continue fighting the fight that you're fighting. Continue with the passion that you have. Because believe you me, I thought I was the only person with the passion apart from Luke George for the country that we dearly love. And for us as Jamaicans, the time has come for us to rally around a single cause and a single purpose. And it's to take back this country from where it's going into. Thank you very much, Senator, for coming on.
Thank you for having me. Have a good evening. Bless up.
Thank you. Bless up.
Yeah, man. I don't know where you're going because I know you love the company, but you can't go and throw off yourself.
I'll be back soon.
I don't remember that, but anyway, I will listen.
And when you're coming back on, please bring a member of the youth.
Yes.
Within.
I'm
bringing a labor right too.
Yes.
No, you have to bring them. I will commit to bring in some of my members. I know that they will appreciate the opportunity.
Yeah, we like Akeem. Firebrand Akeem. They look like them silent, my virgin though. He has gone silent.
Akeem is about. But let me just mention this before I leave. So you remember last year we had our Junior Shadow Cabinet initiative. We are restarting that with a new slate, a new team. So I think possibly I may bring one of those Junior Shadow spokespersons the next time.
No problem, because I know Christopher Henry.
Yes.
Yes. He's a very good friend of mine. I can touch him and say, hey, Chris, I need this, help me with this, and he helped me out. With our good friend Akeem. Akeem is still around,
Akeem is around.
Yes.
Akeem is around, man.
Quiet, don't look like he must sign the bilateral and the trilateral agreements.
We're not talking about Akeem business. But
yeah, man, no, man, not talk. We put a gag order on Akeem business. Next thing, Jeffrey, we here, ambassador to the United Nations. No worry, brother Akeem, remember us when thou was coming into thy kingdom.
Look, before Senator go, I want her to know this, that you may hear it going around that I am a disgruntled laborite who was promised a Senate seat. And I
haven't heard it. So.
You still hear it. So that's why I said that I switched to the comrade.
Look, there's a lot of disgruntled PNP and a lot of disgruntled laborite. Jeffrey, you're a part of the VIP club. Even Mr. Holness is disgruntled. And when the announcement that Ms. Holness was going to become the Speaker of the Senate, the whole Jamaica became disgruntled. It's only a shame that she don't recognize that we don't want her as Speaker of the House. Because we are not impressed with her behavior. We're not impressed with that
Gabriela,
behavior.
and that's what do you know, because I don't
No,
want to
look here. Gabriela have big people.
Of course.
This is freedom of speech. Them can't come look for me now, cause me know them can't send them people come look for me. But me don't prepare for go and me I go call Gabriela and say they have me in the silver banger. Come see me here. Look, the entire Jamaica became traumatized at the announcement that the Parliament of Jamaica became the 15th dynasty of the Andrew Holness run government. You should not have your wife as Speaker of the House. There are senior members in there who should be given an opportunity, because if what Miss Dalrymple carry on with and that treat the people them like them that live in her backyard, I can tell you the Speaker is going to be worse. She has demonstrated it before, and that is one of the reasons why Jamaicans don't believe in it, because right now we believe that the government has become a SSL organization where all their friends and lackeys get big position. Why would you want to have your wife as Speaker of the House?
The optics of it is not good. It don't look good. The optics
Yeah.
And another thing again, Senator. The lady is dragged before the court about some land issue. She should never be the Speaker of the House.
And additionally, I feel that before any speaker was
You understand, Jeffrey? You understand? You hold on there. Gabriel, because you're afraid for that. You get rid of Dalrymple who couldn't remember how much cash she have to put the Mercedes Benz for there. And then you have this lady where the lady who in question is in a newspaper saying she fear for her life because of the threats that she has gotten from both this lady and people associated to her. And then we promote government badness, then you think you're going to bring community badness? When people say that as the example, she should have even taken a leave of absence until the Speaker, because me can say she's guilty. I don't know how she and this lady did arrive at that. But you're before the courts, and you're our best example of a leader, a Speaker of the House, such a privileged position. No, master, this not look good. St. Thomas now work good again. They mash up.
Jeffrey, Luke, George, I leave you. Thank you for having me. All right.
Somebody in the chat room say you're the prettiest woman in a PNP. Me say them just a set your foot over you. But the blood of Jesus, no weapon, no weapon, no weapons, Senator, no weapon.
Senator, thank you so much for coming on, and I hope that you continue to fight the fight of this country. We need people like you.
I will do my best.
Thank you so much, and I hope we can talk to Leader Golden to really have a forum in the diaspora, that people in the diaspora can hear what they have.
But Jeffrey, she herself too should start beat the ground and hear from other young people outside of the union. In fact, we can do a televised youth forum where she and other people can.
I did one last year, but it would be good to have a follow-up. Yeah.
Please do.
Yeah.
Please do. I mean, I'm willing to host it. I don't care what you want to call me, whatever. I'm willing to host it. I'm willing to present my platform, give you the link, and everybody can come on. I'm willing to do that.
Okay. All right. Let's see. All right. Let's do it.
Thank you so much for coming on.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
All right, Senator, you feel free for call me anytime when you're free for talk.
Look, why does it behave this way?
Jeffrey, them can't only put down my board house one time. We can't do it only one time. I believe in my country now. And when I see people where I run it just for personal gain. No.
Look, continue talking. Give me a minute. Just continue talking. Give me a minute.
You would like to say no modern democracy. This could happen that a leader would basically allow 6 members of parliament to be covered by the parliament if there is an active investigation regarding those people and what they have done in terms of personal self-gain to themselves. So it is just sad that we have a country that we can't know who are the six, but a man will come to some Aki went to jail for 6 months for thief Aki for the crown land. There's too much double standard. I mean, yeah, time come for we tell the truth too. And we tell the truth to our political parties that the way how them are select people and the way them are marginalize some people, that is not a political party, that is a mixture of a few that wants the support of the many, and we must ask for our pound of flesh, because the people of Jamaica deserve a payday. We have sacrificed a lot. How many people have lost children? And it started to come to this program to talk about an 8-year-old losing her life and a man escaping from prison. How do you escape from prison under police custody in 2023? And where are these cameras that are supposed to pick up these people leaving out of the hospital after them friend probably take a money from them and look the other way? Thanks to the courageous woman we're catching my sorry, she never broke 2 of him ribs and give him something for go lie down in a hospital for. Why would you want to have sex with an 8-year-old and then murder her? What really are going Jeffrey in Jamaica? Is it that the large movement now requires a lot of blood and a lot of sacrifice of the innocent, while we're seeing this attack on children? Is it the occult movement that is growing stronger and stronger? Because the Christian themselves is always looking for money for themselves. Them don't care about nobody, and them love Jesus. Oh, we love Jesus. But they don't do very much for the people around them that are suffering. Every church leader now have a political party with them support.
And
what is really happening with this thing with killing children? A woman turns up at a private clinic to have an abortion. You don't have the meth, you don't have the machinery or the equipment or the staff. If that is what she's doing and she comes there in an advanced stage of taking some substance, Doc, you took a hypocritical oath, send her to the major hospital. Why did you allow her to have to die in your facility? Then turns up at the KPH with her, and then you move her car and you treat her as if she's an animal and she's not a person. Oh my God, she came here by belly pain like you. When did we become this? We're not for knock by 80 doors. Jamaica is just a country of people that have lost a lot of morals, and people now keep very quiet because they might protect them self-interest and not the interest of them brothers and sisters. And that's the truth. We don't need no big elegant speech. That is why crime is on because politician, church leader, private sector leader, all are we buying tape now.
Look, today the commissioner of police said that crime has gone down.
The police of commissioner is a liar. He is a pathological, mendacious liar. Just like how Statin tell the country say nobody in Jamaica no poor, but yet still we are called people in North America I beg them a money. Because the reality is that we can't find food, we can't send we to them go school, then get there now and people get the test and then pitney come home. Them don't have the means of supporting that child. When the child has a fever, them don't have the clear liquid. So we have to tell them now, make lemonade and give the pit to them lemonade. Make the soup and give the pit to them the soup. Rub them up with a little kalanga water and hope that we can break the fever. Because the reality is that poor people don't have the means of supporting their conditions and their quality of life. Me I tell you right now, me I talk to a young lady who just wants a handout. She don't want a handout. She just wants to survive, Jeffrey. She don't want to be coming out of this person's bed, going into that person's bed. Then she becomes the talk of the town. She just wants a handout. And where, as you hear the senator said, if she go a bank, it got be too hard for she to get a loan, because by virtue of the fact that she's a minimum wage earner, she not qualified. What are we doing to the conscious psyche of the Jamaican people who really wants a better quality of life? Now, if her child have dengue, she have to go use her skirt and the child skirt tail, and she go there and she might not even have $1 to buy that child a food. And a country we live in. These people are lying to us. The commissioner is a liar, and I'm not going to apologize to you, sir. You don't even treat the men and women inside of the JCF with any regards. There are so much hardworking men and women. I could send you a list of people that you could start promoting who would make excellent leaders instead of the matriculation program that you designed that has become an absolute failure. And in the first instances, he was caught with his pants down because he was trying to get a friend of his promoted by not using the same prescribed methodology that other people had to come through. The country is being run by despots and Alibabas and 40 thieves. And until people start saying, when politician turns up in public place, we turn our back on them and tell them, say, you figure on the yard, and then when you go vote, you don't vote because your granny and your great granny and your granny, where you still living at the old boardhouse like me, where them take one stick of matches to light and burn down. Make demands of your politician to change the condition so that you can live a better life without having to support a political party. Policies must be made for people like that. So this single mother should be able to do a 6-week course in entrepreneurship training, teaching her how to keep the books. And at the end of it, we give her a grant of 100,000 and we lend her another 100,000. We say, go out there and see how you can start with this. And we give them the ongoing coaching. Look how much people in the diaspora are successful business. The lady where I can't talk to, where them say she come from Jamaica, and we recently discovered her as one of the millionaires them in the United States. I think her name is Tamara. She came here the other day and she was given some acceptance. Women need to see women like this who came up from absolutely nothing. These are the people, but then again, they make it so hard for you to talk to them because you have to go through them publicists, you have to go through this, and you have to beg them, like say, you beg God to bless you. We need more people like these who can inspire a set of Jamaican women who we know, Jeffrey, the education system have failed. We know, say them education system. Do you today alone? Me had to be borrowing laptop for people who started course, who are doing their associate degree course, who don't have a laptop, but they are in an hybrid program where they are encouraging them to be able to still maintain them daily livelihood by attending class. And I must commend the work that is being done at the Trenchtown Polytechnic, because I was there this week where the principal was showing me that she's trying to raise funds to build a facility so that women or men who have to come there for their study will be able to have somewhere to hold their children while they are studying one of the programs that are currently being offered there. Some people are having challenges with school fee. We are working to see how we can support that. But the truth of the matter is that we have to inspire Jamaica from this stuff. Whatever you see that you're good at, we need to start supporting people at that level. Whether we go into the farm and we give the accreditation to the man we're upon the farm. So look here. Me not talking with a whole heap of people because we realize that Jamaica is a good talk shop. People like to listen. Me want people who are ready. You see that lady I was saying she want to build up a creche. We're supposed to make her have a creche. We're not supposed to talk about go ask the government because all the government do a pocket. How people go into parliament? I'm not talking no Queen English. Oh, you're going to broke and not own no land. And you and your family have 6,000 acre land in a St. Thomas. Oh, that makes sense. How does that make sense, Jeffrey Tavares? Why is it that Jamaicans are still of the opinion that Prime Minister Andrew Holness have an investment club in St. Lucia? And you still want to remain the Prime Minister when people have lost confidence that you are living better than us and we sent you there to make our life better? Eh? Why is it that your wife is fighting with a woman over land? And yet still you are ascending her to high office. So the wronger you are, the better you are, the stronger you are. That's the message that you are affirming to a set of Jamaicans that are on the verge now to protest and burn down everything.
The nation is gone to a place of no return. I see somebody said to me here, Mr. Tavares is 131 people have been murdered since the start of this year. And the commissioner of police say to us something different.
Yeah, but Mr. Wallen is a bodyguard. So the people at Jamaica send you there. And Mark Golden a bodyguard. We send them there to make our life better. And we not have no... When we call police, they don't have no vehicle. The unit is not available. And we suffer. But safe. It no make no sense. Jamaica wake up, Asians. Me hope them not kill her. Me I go come check you. Me love Senator Gabriela. I hope that she keep that positive spirit. I love all positive young Jamaican. Me love some of the youth them were misguided and them feel left out of the loop of things, and so they feel that them have to make bad choices. But Jeffrey Tavares, I would love to see all of us here on the Make We Talk program making a difference. But as me tell you, I want to do some community tours, but me no want to go to be a talk shop. I want to hear what people are saying. I want to hear what people are saying. So when we come to this program, we can put a face, we can put a picture to the circumstances and the condition of the Jamaican people, while these despots continue to pay them lip service. Lip service.
You know, today, Luke, I was watching the sittings of the parliament today, and I saw a Mike Henry, when name again, Carl Simuda, a Desmond McKenzie, all of them sitting in there, and I'm saying to myself, these are the people who we have in the Parliament of Jamaica. They make laws that when they reach 65, they have to retire. And they still sit there and we sit in this country and do nothing about it.
Yeah, because them it is almost like their promised land. Them treat the parliament. Look at when you look at some parliamentarian, you talk about values and attitudes, civic pride, self-respect, tolerance, understanding the runnings of government. And then you go look now at somebody like Mr. Warmington.
And give him order of Jamaica. Or order
and him get big order of Jamaica and nobody not give me nothing. Because me not call nobody drunk or chink and dog. Look at Mr. Warmington telling a Jamaican that was his tour. Like him granny, the great Dalvi emperor, give Jamaica some money, and him go down a Portland with him granny money, and I got tell a resident, be it if the resident is PNP or JLP, you can't come because only uninvited people are ching, and you still maintain a seat in the parliament. And the parliament is a joke. Parliament is a joke. It means that it is the firm that is there to protect criminals and criminal behavior, and hence whether or not we are 81 in Moody's or we are 72 in the other study of corruption, we have a government that is so indifferent and so insensitive to its people and conduct themselves as if they are the law unto themselves and they can do as they please. And we are not seeing any of them. I can't wait to see Royal Reid wearing him stripe. I can't wait to see spin up. And it should send a message. Nobody is above the law. I mean, when we look around the world now, I peer Donald Trump behavior, I see I go on. I peer like a dictator. I peer like a dictator around country. Right? It's my way or the highway, and the voting populace don't have a voice. And they do everything to ensure that we must know that they are only going to prosecute us in the next election. Because other than that, the day after election, democracy is dead upon arrival. It's back to bullyism and dictatorship. Back to bullyism and dictatorship. And I'm saying, how long will they kill our prophets while we stand aside and watch? I don't care for those who say it's just a part of it. We have to fulfill the book. Until God take the last breath from my body, Jeffrey, I am going to, like Sam Sharp said, I rather you hang me on gallows, on yonder gallows, than I remain a slave to an unjust system by a few despots who have made it so untenable for Jamaica land we love to be the paradise that she is. You need to pack your bags. Although I don't like the man who coined this very much, but you need to pack your bags and go in shame. How are we not reeling? We sit down, we talk about it. Where is Dr. Hamilton? Where is all of the who is who, the Vimvava and the Vimvavi, who came out when the salary increased and have gone silent, like the song said, at the sound of silence? Where are those people that are saying, no, 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 no. Money a thief, country a run bad, promoting wrong people to position, country can't stay so. I don't care if you're a labor right or PNP. Some principle will not feel short with the in the battle.
You know something, though? I know people keep on saying I love to repeat myself by saying this. In which modern democracy, the Speaker of the House of Representatives is in court over land. She was the Deputy Speaker.
In Jamaica, Jeffrey, and in the United States of America, where a president could have beefed up the value of his property, get the bank to take the risk without telling the people that what I'm presenting to you is not factual. In Jamaica and in the United States, in Xi Jinping, China, in North Korea, in Beijing, China, and in North Korea. The fact of the matter is that the people have surrendered and become powerless. We tell ourselves that nothing is going to happen, Jeffrey. And because we keep on sending that signal out into the universe, we are receiving what we have really been putting out there. I believe, sir, there's no politician. I have no politician friends. Because I now go tell, nobody can be my friend and me can't tell them the truth. And my friend them knows that sometimes them tell me the brutal truth and I might not like it. But it gives me a sort of point that I can now go back and look and I can come back and say, boy, the pill is hard for swallowing, but me hear what you say, I'm going to take it. The country don't have people who listen to the people at every level. Imagine I am fighting with a church basic school board who for the last 40 years have really pulled their hand because them don't like the principal. But these are the people of God. Nor do they like me because one of the board members, when she referred to me as what he says. And you know that it comes from that era of those snobs that look down on this like a poor black boy. Look at this blackie coming to tell the rest of us how to conduct and run their affairs. How can the parents be paying school fee, pay on the lunch money every week, when they get government subvention? You can't show me on the budget we're not adding anything other than we are tenants in the church hall. And you cannot see that the way you're treating people is wrong. How can people survive on $63,000 and when you take with the $5,000 out of that and these people have children of their own? How we sending a woman to school and leaving her children at home, but we're not compensating her that she can pay somebody to be there to prepare a meal and probably help her children with her homework. And now she needs a laptop that she can't afford because her salary precludes her from getting that laptop.
And yet, the Prime Minister of Jamaica today, I'm not saying what he did wasn't, good. The four young men who at the BB Polk High School in St. Elizabeth, who took that other young man to a medical facility. The Prime Minister today gave them laptops and everything. So the question I need to ask Mr. Prime Minister, if they did not do a little gesture of helping somebody, you wouldn't give them a laptop, sir?
No, I'm sorry, said them was my pity. I tell the Prime Minister, so I don't want him sorry for them. We don't give tokens to them. Give them the medal of bravery. Because a lots of your friends getting it in October that in this very month here that don't deserve it. Now give them no laptop. Give them a medal of bravery. That in your school under Favel Williams, the security guard stood and watched that young man almost beaten to death. Give them a medal of bravery. Show other young people in Jamaica, not that we get material things that are going to mash up, but a medal of bravery will live with me from now until eternity, that the country of Jamaica recognize my heroic action, save the life of my fellow comrades. And that you can go ask Finsley Smith. If that is not what they're taught in the army, no soldiers must be left on the field, harmed or otherwise. We must give dignity to that individual by protecting our comrades in battle. Not laptops, Prime Minister. Medal of bravery. That was courageous. That was brave. That was quick thinking. They'll have no care, but we will not allow him to die. Not like how you have left the rest of Jamaica to die. Maybe your action, Prime Minister, should model those young people. I will not go to bed this night comfortable in my Beverly Hills house, in my Mona house, in all the other houses, the one that you have in Trelawney, knowing that Jamaicans don't have good, knowing that Jamaicans don't have anywhere to live. Take a lesson from the four, Prime Minister, because truly that is the sort of courageous activity that must inspire your people, not the cowardly acts of protecting six despots, and promoting people to the position who have external issues that have serious implication on their character. You have just told me I can be a criminal and still serve as Prime Minister. That's what you are reinforcing to me. You are telling me that I can be troubled, like I can have the biggest set of trouble. Our question signs are out there and I want to serve. Well, look here. You see, for me, I would have done the decent thing. If you have questions about my integrity, I will step aside and allow you to conduct your on-touch investigation. And when me get to the bottom of that, and me take that seat then now, I should even want the seat because one should be Prime Minister and the Speaker of the House is your wife. Conflict of interest, man. Conflict of interest. Conflict of interest.
I asked that question, Luke, and I was told that under the Constitution, there's nothing wrong with that. And I
because there's no Constitution. What you must understand, them give with one and take it back. But how is it that in the same labor laws that governs how corporation that says husbands and wives and relatives should not be working, because it leads to more of you colluding. So even if it is in the Constitution, think about it as moral act. This is not a company, this is a country. And the Speaker of the House have a gavel that she can use at her disposal. And it so happened that she is the wife of the Prime Minister and a member of the Jamaica Labour Party. Are you telling me that none of the other people in there, including young Rhoda Crawford and other young bright people that all of a sudden descended upon us overnight, and they were the paragon of virtue that was going to take us out of adverse poverty, because prosperity that got run down the road, and the Jamaican people them that got get way, and we that got gallop in a prosperity, and we they are hungry, and we still come with the lies. Stop break down the lies, no man. Stop tell the people. Boy, I mean I tell you, Jaja, and stand up my blood pressure. Jaja. Eh? Make sure you fight her court case with the woman who said she never get her land and she and I never have that agreement, and all the woman are living in fear. And that is the image of the Prime Minister wife of Jamaica. People living in fear because of Miss Wallace. Miss Wallace, I'm not against you still, because John know me don't know, what I see in a paper, me I talk from. But if that is the image of you, maybe you need to invite me to lunch. But but and sit me down and try to convince me.
I
But
would,
if you there
I
cool,
would need
if
from
you
them.
there, eh?
I would need from them.
Yeah, man. The Bible said me them can't give me deadly poison. Them can't do me nothing. God have my back. God have my back. But the fact of the matter, me don't know where you talk about constitution. Because that is why them a draft it in the dead of the night without us being involved in there. Because it's always, if you want black people to remain ignorant, put things in writing, they will not come out and debate an article for the constitution and then draft the governing actions that must fall under that article. They will not debate, Jeffrey. And again, Mr. Theo, I'm serious about this, my friend. You have almost 64,000 people who listen to you on a regular basis. Even when you say to them, say, like, subscribe, them not even subscribe to the channel. Them just know that somebody might say them and say, Jeffrey, I come on, them not like and subscribe.
Yeah.
But when Mr. Tia say you need a breakout session one night, you need to do a Zoom session. Even if we can start to identify the issue of health in Jamaica, the issue of education, the issue of, and we bring some people who have knowledge, because I've asked everybody this question. Tell me a constitution that you see that would be something that we could fashion ours off.
Mm-hmm.
Go to the Barbados constitution and see what in there that is good for you, because the Treaty of Chaguaramas has failed the CARICOM. CARICOM has become a failed state because everybody want them 5 minutes of fame, but they're not willing to work together for the collective of the Caribbean. Yet still, we have earthquake, Haiti have earthquake. We have bad hurricanes. The whole Caribbean have bad hurricanes. So global warming for us takes a different toll. Rain, right? we have high expenditures in electricity, food costs, and we not export to nobody nothing of substance. We have the backside debate that says that we're getting zero from the backside. So Jeffrey, we have a failed administration, because where we should be extracting from some of these companies and these things, we're not getting it. So we can't fund hospital, we can't fund education, but we can take 200%. That's a blatant daylight robbery, you know. That's a blatant Henry Morgan, who was the first governor of the Caribbean.
And that's only that. Sorry, that's only that, Lou. It's just that people, there is no investigative journalism in Jamaica anymore. The late Wilmot Perkins was a person, he and John Maxwell will go into the nitty and gritty of things and to let the people of our country know. Nowadays, media houses are bought out by, political parties and government. So there's nothing of such that people can come out and say anymore, because there is no investigative journalism. And when there is one, and you try to come up with it, the W as a member of the People's National Party, the Labour Party, or the W like saying you're fighting against the government, or the W like Nesta Mark.
Now you're
I must apologize. We had just lost internet feed a while ago. I do apologize about it. Luke, we're gonna wrap up. Go ahead.
Yeah, man, me think I jam, me think I jam them jam way.
Possibility.
But Jeffrey, yeah, me believe in everybody can play them part. And I'm dead serious. I would like to do a forum with young people. I would like to do a forum with young entrepreneurs. I would really love to be able to go around the length and breadth of Jamaica and highlight some of the problems and some of the issues. I would like the feed to be met with talk. So we really give a picture to the suffering of the Jamaican people. I'm not afraid to challenge anybody. I'm not afraid to express my views. I never grow that way. I wasn't taught how to be fearful of. I know what people say and I know how people feel about me coming onto these programs. But the truth of the matter, somebody have to tell the truth. Somebody have to speak their truth. You might not respect what I say, but when you sit with the amount of people that I sit with on a day-to-day basis, and you listen to the challenge of those people, Jeffrey, trust me, me understand when the Bible says when the wicked rule, the people suffer. And when the righteous rule, the people rejoice.
Yeah.
Can you imagine a mother this morning not having any money but got up with a child that was vomiting and had a high fever and left her house at 6:15 to return back there at 6 o'clock? Neither she or the child was able to eat anything because she only had $500 to take her to the children, Boston the Children's Hospital. And there was nowhere that she could have gone into their social work. Because those people, Jamaica civil servants, are some of the heartless people I've ever met anywhere on the planet. You will be ridiculed, you will be mocked, you will be scarred, you will be scoffed at. But our government did not put it into the system of how to effectively serve the Jamaican people to say, if by chance you and your child have to turn up at the hospital and it's lack of funds why you can't come, or you don't have funds to buy some basic necessity to sustain that child before they see the doctor, please know that at X point you can go in there and speak to them. We have resources allotted to help you with that individual. Think of a loot jar truck hearing that when the people arrive. But having to take something from out of a bill to go assist that family because little boy is possible now experiencing dengue. They took the blood test, the family have to wait. How does that mother sustain that child? How does that mother sustain that child? Yes, we're going to talk about the PAD program. Sometimes it takes, people tell you it takes years, and sometimes you have to use your little contacts to get it. But what happened to those immediate situations that require immediate intervention? Jeffrey, three computer for bravery.
4.
To show that adults in our country are failing our young people. Come on, Prime Minister, stop the photo apps. Too much of that. Give them the medal of bravery.
Yes.
Let them have that etched in their memory, that they have it within them. Imagine, Jeffrey, those 4 young men by those courageous act alone can send a different vibration to the entire youth sector that people will reward you for every good deed that you have done. They should be on the wall of BB Coke, our modern day unsung heroes, with their 4 medals, and then you give them the computer afterwards. But to reward them and to say, we as adults, I, Andrew Oldest, as Prime Minister, who is shading 6 corrupt politicians that are questionable, you were braver than me to take on that mammoth task of trying to save your fellow citizen. And isn't that what the national pledge and the national anthem of this country calls us to? Stir, respond to duty's call, but give us vision, Lord, lest we perish. In the service of my fellow citizens, I promise to stand up for justice, honesty, and truth, so that Jamaica may play her part in advancing the welfare of the entire human race. My brother, it is always my pleasure, even when I feel tired, even when I feel pressed on every side, to share this microphone with you and your listening audience. I invite them to like, subscribe the Jeffrey YouTube channel. Make the man make some money so he can start support some program, man. Not just listen, do something. But Jeffrey, give them your email and let them say, I would like to be a part of the breakout session. Tell me the areas that you're going to be looking at. And we're going to be looking at 7 in the beginning, and then we can add more as we go along. Give them the Met We Talk email. Let them email. Don't let them listen. We have to assign some assignment. And some of these very people that are in your chat room should also be on your program, because they are brilliant thinkers. Yes. They are independent thinkers. And we need to broaden who comes on, not just our nice, beautiful, sophisticated politicians and leaders of this and leaders of that, and the Wilfred Rattigan and the Luke George. Let's hear the people. This is where we need to create a mic for them. Let them speak. Let them speak, because they have ideas that has not yet been given birth to. They have thoughts that they have not yet shared. So if we really are going to talk, let all voices contend until we can build a better Jamaica who will increase in our beauty under God's prosperity. We would have all played our part to fulfill the advancement of every human being. Good night, my friend.
Good night, Luke. And I just want to say thank you for coming on. Thanks for Senator Gabriela Morris for coming on. Thanks for all those who watch, all those who like, share, and subscribe to this channel. We're organizing ourselves to bring you better programs and have solutions to the programs that we're having. We're going to organize ourselves, as what my good friend Luke George just said. We're going to organize and have platforms that we can bring on who are on the YouTube chat here to come on, whether by telephone. I have a number here you're going to call. We have everything set up. We're going to organize ourselves some more, and also wherein you can maybe donate to the channel or donate to something in Jamaica. We're trying to organize ourselves in doing that. But remember, as I always said, the time has come for us to rally around a single cause and a single purpose. And the time is now. The time is truly now. And I just want to say this to everyone. For all those cares have been our concern. The work goes on, the cause endure, the hope still lives, and the dream for a better Jamaica shall never die. Until you hear my voice again, remember to like, share, and subscribe to the Make We Talk Jeffrey Tavares YouTube channel. And remember, do something good for somebody. Doesn't matter who they are. Remember the less fortunate. May God bless you. May God bless Jamaica land we love. Luke, have a good night, my friend.
Paris, big up yourself, man. And keep on doing good. You're a good soul. You're a good soul, you. The day I come, man. The day I come. Your day is coming. God now left you out. You're next in line for your blessed, my youth.
Thank you. Luke, don't go anywhere yet. We're just going to cut off the program. Don't go anywhere yet. I'm going to talk to you off here.
When the game gets rough and this life just seems so tough, Make we talk, my people, make we talk. When this town becomes an ugly place, don't let it erase the smile from your face. Make we talk, people, make we talk. Conversation is the key, a guiding light for you and me. Spark a talk and you will see. Conflict solver A to Z. World leaders master the art of self-defense just by talk. So people, make we talk. Hey, we're living in a world that on ourselves we must depend. Make we talk.